Good morning. My name is Kenneth Washington, and I am the Vice President of Human Resources here at Locus Innovations. I would like to thank the board members for meeting with me today. Board members, we all know why we are in business. We are a multinational firm that produces and contributes components for GPS systems all over the world. Before I begin, I would like to offer you all an agenda, a roadmap of this presentation. We have the problem along with the research question, recommendation overviews, evidence-based research management, systematic review methodology, the article reviews, weight of evidence, article evaluations, recommendation explanations, additional questions, and finally, the references. As you all may know, our staff retention rates have dropped considerably due to the lack of work-life balance. So the CEO has tasked me with looking through aggregated data to come up with ideas to enhance the work-life balance of our employees. The aggregated data stems from 2 systematic reviews. In order to find solutions, I had to develop a research question that is fitting for our current situation. This research question is, can Locus Innovations provide a more flexible work experience for their employees in terms of work-life balance? Considering the current situation and in reference to the research question, the suggested recommendations are to create a flexible work schedule, a supportive leave system, and an employee development program. An in-depth explanation of these recommendations will be provided after the weight of evidence article evaluations. Before we go further, I would like to give you a little information on evidence-based research management and systematic review methodology. These 2 components help me arrive at my previously stated recommendations. Why does evidence-based research matter? It matters because biases, which include personal feelings and opinions, should not contribute to making managerial decisions. Evidence-based research decisions rely on the academic evidence, which is taken from scholarly literature, organizational data, figures, practices, and professional experience. This also adds value by helping organizations use the right measures to reduce error by considering academic evidence as a factor towards the company's nature of work. Systematic review methodology is an exhaustive process which takes the research from qualitative or quantitative sources. This method attempts to identify, appraise, and synthesize all the evidence that meets the established criteria in order to choose the best evidence that is relevant to the research question. Systematic review methodology requires rigor and transparency. Rigor is the strict application of the scientific method to ensure robust and unbiased experimental designs, methodology, analysis, interpretation, and the reporting of results. It also ensures that all the findings are transferable, credible, dependable, and confirmable. Transparency is the way that processes, procedures, and decisions are made clear to a person or a group of people. It also provides us with enough information about how work was performed, where the replication can happen and be used for further analysis. Both rigor and transparency are required for a systematic review methodology. That brings us to the article reviews. The first article review is Employee Well-Being and the Human Resource Management Organizational Performance Relationship, a review of quantitative studies. The authors state that their purpose and objectives is to investigate competing perspectives to provide a better description for employee well-being and whether the 5 study attributes affect the outcome. The authors were looking to find supportive information for mutual gains or conflicting outcomes. The methodology used was a systematic review that consisted of 36 quantitative studies, which was cross-referenced with the reference section of 11 review studies, with the independent variable being human resource management and the dependent variable being employee well-being. In conclusion, this article shows that Human resource management did have a positive effect on employees' well-being, but the proper perspective is dependent upon the type of well-being that is being studied. The second article review is Flexible Working and Performance, a systematic review of the evidence for a business case. This set of authors' purpose and objectives were to find a link or relationship between flexible working arrangements and performance-based outcomes, which also happens to be their research question. The methodology was a systematic review that consisted of 148 different sources. Those sources were obtained by using keyword search strings, which have both the independent variable, flexible working arrangements, and the dependent variable, performance-related outcomes, included, and all were cross-referenced. The conclusion of this article found the results to be inconclusive, where findings failed to offer the employees flexible working arrangement, but there were some results that provided support for a direct link between the two. Now that both articles have been reviewed, we can now move to article evaluation. I chose to use weighted evidence with TPUPAs for the evaluation tools. Here we have a description of all the elements. Weighted evidence A group consists of transparency, accuracy, accessibility, specificity for TPUPAs. Weighted evidence B category consists of purposivity for the TPUPAs dimension. Category C of the weighted evidence contains utility and propriety of the TPUPAs dimension. And the weighted evidence D category basically says which article was better, good, bad, medium, total. Each category, according to the weighted evidence, will be scored on a good, bad, or medium for each article. In the well-being and human resource management performance article, or Article 1, transparency states the clear objective. There were no search strings. Some articles were not used or were not relevant for the research purpose. 36 quantitative studies, cross-check methods for 11 of those review studies were not explained, and this data may not be replicable. In the accuracy part of Article 1, the data from the article reported, but the information is limited and it was difficult to follow due to the various objectives of the study. The accessibility part, there were multiple research objectives that were clearly stated, but they were hard to follow. The report areas were intelligible, but there were too many other variables to consider. And the specificity part of Article 1, there were various studies analyzed and knowledge of standards were achieved, but only journals provided those search descriptions. So I rated that with a medium. Article 2, the flexible working and performance article, transparency part, clearly stated their databases and search strings, 148 sources used on the grounds of relevancy, stated the objectives and purpose clearly. The flexible work arrangements were measured, but they did cite limitations and admitted to their inconclusive findings. And their research can possibly be replicated. The accuracy part of Article 2, the data provided justification for the purpose of the article, conclusions supported the data, it was easy to follow. The accessibility part of Article 2, research objectives stated and written clearly and intelligibly, info about various about their variables were explained, and the specificity part of Article 2 had various studies analyzed and knowledge of the standards was achieved, extensive descriptions of database searches, keywords listed for each variables for search string. So I rated that as good. That was the whole weighted evidence category A. Weighted evidence category B, the purposivity of Article 1. The purpose of the study does not fit the needs of locus research question and interest, although it provides the explanation for the review and the data collected with explanation of some of the omitted research data. I rated that as bad. Article 2, for purposivity in the weighted evidence group B, purpose of the study and variables fit what was needed for locus, research, question, and interest, although the findings were inconclusive. So I rated that as medium. Weighted evidence category C, which has the utility and proprietary aspects of it. Article 1, utility, research, and articles related to its purpose. However, it is not related to locus purpose, nor does it address issues. The assumptions were not established well. Proprietary were legal and ethical. Article 2, the utility, information provided from review of studies outlines different scenarios to relate to flexible work arrangements and with benefits and consequences for each. The data and findings can be applied to locus. It was also legal and ethical. So I rated Article 1 medium. I rated Article 2 good overall. And Article 2 is good overall, which means that article can be used in conjunction with what we're trying to do at Locus Innovations. Based on the information provided, the evaluated areas and the selection of Article 2 based on the issues and the needs here at Locus, these are the recommendations in detail. Recommendation 1 is to create a flexible work schedule which consists of 3 stages. Stage 1 is the survey stage. The survey stage consists of an employee survey detailing 2 flexible work arrangements, a compressed work week, which is a 4-day work week schedule, 10 hours a day, hour and a half lunch, 3-day weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, or a flexible time schedule where employees must be at work from 10 to 2, allowed to work the rest of their shift whenever they want, but they must meet the 40 hours minimum per week. Stage 2 is the trial run. The trial run consists of a third of the company. Based on the survey, whichever gets the most votes as far as compressed work week or flexible time, a third of the company going on the trial run for a month each. The trial period will be conducted over a 3-month period. That way, the whole company has a chance to get this flexible work arrangement concluded. Stage 3 is the reassessment stage. That stage consists of, after the trial run, we all reconvene. I reconvene with the board, and we go over what happened during the trial period, and then we move forward with anything as far as the schedule, work schedule. Is it going to be a regular work schedule or a flexible work schedule for the future? Recommendation number 2 to be created is a supportive leave system. Leave accrual will not change. It will still accrue the same way, regardless of the type of leave. We can offer maternity or paternity leave for expectant mothers or fathers to be. And also, a leave bank can be created where paid or sick leave in advance could be issued out, and those who get that can make up for that for work or doing work in a certain time frame. Other employees can donate their leave to the leave bank or directly to another employee if the employee does not have enough earned leave. And finally, recommendation number 3 is an employee development program where we develop our employees. You have in-person workshops so they can improve their job performance. You have online classes and conferences so they can improve their interest in job performance. And then you have a promotional plan so you can allow those performance achievements and accolades to contribute to their promotions, along with certificates and online classes, amongst other things. And you can use that for the pay raises or position promotion, such as managerial positions. We have now reached the additional questions part. Three additional questions that I have had. Are there any other options available for enhancement of work-life balance for our employees? Are we potentially prepared to support a flexible work arrangement at Locus Innovations? And how will the flexible work arrangement impact Locus Innovations? If you have any questions, the floor is now open for you to ask. Here are the references from where I pulled my data and information from. And like I said, my name is Kenneth Washington. I am from Human Resources, the Vice President. Thank you for listening.